keep the commandments, and this is one of my favorite verses in the whole Book of Mormon, because it's one of my son's favorite verses in the whole Book of Mormon. And many of you will probably remember this story, but we have a cute boy who moved in with us when he was 18 years old, and then just became part of our family, and now he's one of our boys. But when he moved in with us, it was after time spent in jail. Is jail the right word? I always say the wrong thing.
Jail.
Yes, jail. And he says to me, Mom, I didn't go to prison. I went to jail. And he had to have a big life change. And part of the process of that life change, which took 18 months to do, was he was challenged by a bishop to read in the Book of Mormon every single night. And he did for 18 months. And I'll never forget one day, he came and he sat at the top of the stairs, and he had his scriptures with him. And he said to me, Mom, I want to read you a scripture, and I want you to see if it is true. And it is this scripture in Mosiah 2:22. And it says, and behold, all that he requires of you is to keep his commandments. And he has promised you that if you keep his commandments, ye should prosper in the land. And he never doth vary from that which he hath said. Therefore, if ye do keep his commandments, he doth bless you and prosper you. And Garrett said to me, do you think that's true? And I said, yeah, I think that's true. I believe that's true. I have seen that happen in my own life. And he said to me, if that's true, this is going to be my favorite scripture in the Book of Mormon. Well, it is his favorite scripture. It's his favorite scripture of all of scripture. If you were to call Garrett up and ask him to tell you Mosiah 2:22, he can tell it to you totally memorized. It's his protection scripture. But one of my favorite things is he's a football player. He plays in the NFL, and look how big his shoes are. When he played in Division I and also in junior college, he would write words on his shoes to help him remember who he was and what he was doing and the life change that he was making. But one thing that is on every pair of shoes, every pair of cleats he has ever worn, is this scripture, Mosiah 2:22. It's right here, so you can see it on these ones. There is not a pair of cleats that he has that doesn't have this scripture written on it, because it has become the theme of his life. And it's something that he truly believes, that if we will just keep the commandments, that it opens up avenues for the Lord to bless and prosper us, mostly through the Spirit that comes and guides us and leads us where we need to go. And one of the things that I love about Garrett is he does his best to keep the commandments, and nobody's perfect at it, obviously, but it's something that he really cares about in his life. And because of that, he has become a really good friend to the Spirit, and he knows how the Spirit speaks to him. And because of that companionship with the Spirit, it has led him into circumstances and places where he has experienced great blessings in his life. And I think that same thing would be true for every one of us. So one of the ways that we strengthen families and faith is by simply just keeping the commandments in the best way we know how, whatever that looks like for our little family. And we work on that obedience so that it will open up the avenue for miracles in our